Since Shen Xinhui was always the notorious school bully, everyone assumed the worst when the male lead got targeted.
His sister immediately blamed him and slapped him right across the face.
But get this, he just calmly grabs a heavy vase off the table.
His sister stops yelling instantly, demanding to know what he is doing. He flashes a creepy smile, asking if she is really that worried about Chen Yuan. He promises to let her feel exactly what those rumors feel like. Then, with a totally blank face, he brutally slaps himself twice. Bright red handprints immediately flare up on his handsome face. Next, he digs his fingernails in, tearing deep, bloody scratches across his skin. His sister completely loses her mind and rushes over to stop him. He easily dodges her grasp, spins around, and snatches that vase again. He smashes it straight over his own head. Bro, this MC is actually built different. Bodyguard 007 bursts in, catching the exact moment blood starts gushing down. With his vision fading, he begins to collapse toward the nearby table.
Shen Anxin panics and reaches out, but the guard shoves her away.
He catches the young master, his face pale with absolute dread. An emergency protocol is triggered, and in less than 5 minutes, a crowd of black-clad men and medics flood Shengde Academy during recess. The massive commotion draws a huge crowd, all witnessing him covered in blood. They watch him get carried away, his handsome face completely lifeless. He looks like a fragile doll. Everyone is asking what happened to Shen Xinhui. Who could have beaten him up this badly? How did anyone dare to do this? Someone mentioned seeing him earlier. He just came out of Teacher Shen's office. Wait, isn't he her brother? Another student confirms seeing him get aggressively dragged into that office earlier. He looked so angry then, and now everyone is completely shocked. This guy is a beast in fights, so how did his sister wreck him like this? Given their past fights, everyone already knows their sibling relationship is ruined. There is absolutely no going back for these two. Naturally, the entire school assumes his sister went way too far. That same day, Father Shen flies back from abroad as the doctor exits. Father Shen rushes forward, demanding to know how his son is doing. He is out of danger, but he has not woken up yet. When will he wake? Tonight? Or maybe tomorrow? The doctor tells him not to worry, but the father immediately snaps. How can he not worry when his boy is still unconscious? The entire mansion is dead silent, with staff standing rigidly in place. The elite bodyguards sent to protect him are lined up outside. They are waiting for their punishment since the young master got devastated. None of them can escape this, and Father Shen heads straight to Shengde. If they cannot give a proper explanation, this school is finished. He is ready to flatten the campus, showing off his insane power. This is the moment the students truly witness the terrifying strength of the Shen Group. After learning what supposedly happened, Father Shen violently kicks Shen Anxin. He refuses to hear her excuses for defending a mere scholarship student. How dare you question your own brother like that? Do you actually have a death wish? Father Shen unleashes his full terrifying aura, making the room temperature instantly plummet. The oppressive pressure makes it hard to breathe as he rages that Xinhui can do whatever the hell he wants. Why do you care so much? If you do not want him as a brother, then get the hell out! You even teamed up with outsiders to attack him after I spent a fortune sending you abroad to study. He asks if she came back just to bully his son, demanding to know if his last warning was not clear enough. Asking if she is completely deaf, he beats Shen Anxin until she is black and blue. He only stops when the assistant reports that Xinhui is finally awake, casting a cold glare at Shen Anxin. He coldly warns her that if anything happens to his beloved son, she will definitely pay with her own life. Back in the room, Yanyi and Li Xia arrive to visit Xinhui and politely greet Father Shen. Yanyi takes one look at the intimidating father and quickly stands up to greet him. Father Shen nods with a warm smile, walking over to see Li Xia feeding Xinhui some water.
Gently telling her to let him handle it, Father Shen takes the cup from Li Xia.
He looks at Xinhui with pure worry, asking if his body feels uncomfortable or painful anywhere right now. He offers to call the doctor, but Xinhui just leans back and turns his face away. Clearly wanting absolutely nothing to do with him, Yanyi takes in the tense father-son dynamic. Yanyi quietly slips out with Li Xia, leaving Father Shen to ask Xinhui if he is hungry.
Father Shen reaches out, desperately wanting to show some care to his son.
But Xinhui just pulls up the blanket, rolls over, and gives him the silent treatment.
He tells Shen Yui to rest, mentioning that Aunt Shen and 007 are waiting outside.
Father Shen sighs, telling him to call them if he needs anything at all.
Watching his silent son, he's filled with deep regret and heartache as the room falls quiet. Once alone, Xinhui opens his eyes and rubs his throbbing head, wincing from the sharp pain. Xinhui really did not know his own strength. He almost ended up smashing himself to death. Over the next few days, Father Shen keeps visiting, but Xinhui completely ignores him. Father Shen eventually explains that there is a major crisis at the company he has to handle. Seeing that Xinhui has mostly recovered and the doctors have cleared him, Father Shen speaks softly. He reassures Xinhui that he already punished his sister and she will apologize. He begs his son not to bottle things up, and Xinhui finally glances at him. Thrilled to get a reaction, Father Shen immediately admits that this was entirely his fault.
He promises never to force Xinhui to associate with his sister ever again.
And if he ever needs anything, he should always remember to call his dad. At this moment, Father Shen is just an ordinary dad, deeply worried about his boy. His eyes are filled with pure affection, showing how incredibly guilty he feels.
He desperately wants to make amends, and Xinhui finally gives him a gentle nod.
Finally getting a response after all this time? The emotional payoff is honestly so satisfying.
Father Shen is so moved that tears fill his eyes as he pulls Xinhui into a tight embrace.
Calling him his good son, Xinhui just looks down and does not push him away. He quietly lets him hold him, silently experiencing this clumsy, unfamiliar fatherly love. During the final checkup, the doctor is relieved to see that Xinhui has not a single scar left. The doctor sighs in relief, and a week later, Xinhui finally steps back into his classroom. Instantly, every single classmate turns around to stare at him. Lately, the entire school has been endlessly gossiping about him and Shen Anxin. But the rumors are starting to fade, especially with the hot new transfer student, Yi Huayan, joining Class 1. Now everyone's attention has completely shifted to the new guy. Shen Xinghui's cold stare lands on Ye Huayan, who is currently chilling in his seat. This deskmate Zhang Yuan is kissing up to him, tossing our MC stuff out. But as Shen Xinhui walks up, Zhang Yuan completely panics. He scrambles to put the books back, forcing a shaky, terrified smile. Meanwhile, Ye Huayan sits there with a fake innocent smile. He was chatting with Li Xia, who throws a nervous glance at our MC. Only then does Ye Huayan pretend to notice him. "Oh, Shen Xinhui, you're back. I wanted to talk to you since my grades are bad." Li Xia is great, and everyone says you do not study. Since you have been skipping class, I thought we could swap seats. You would not mind, right? His eyes lock with Li Xia, who starts panicking to explain herself. She quickly claims she never said anything, desperate for trust.
She is stuttering so hard, while Ye Huayan puts on an innocent look.
He tries to grab Shen Xinghui's wrist, but RMC steps back. His eyes turn cold. Who do you think you are anyway? Ye Huayan's face stiffens, but he recovers his composure super fast. He plays with his fingers, putting on a perfect victim act. Everyone said you were cold, but I did not believe. I just wanted to be friends. Sorry for causing trouble. His voice cracks with drama as he looks at the desk.
He timidly asks to sit here, knowing how fierce our MC is. Seriously, why is he forcing his way in? Pure provocation.
Shen Xinhui glares, his words sharp. No, that is not it. I just wanted to study hard.
He gasps on the verge of tears, but Shen Xinhui snaps back. You're broke. Why are you at Shengde Academy anyway?
This backfire is crazy, and some classmates even start snickering. Snobbiness is practically a grand tradition for the elite here. Clear your trash before I lose my temper, Shen Xinhui warns.
Under the desk, Ye Huayan's fists clench tight, though his face stays pitiful.
Right then, Lu Ruyan and Chen Yuan walk back in. Seeing the drama, they both frown and march straight over. Are you ever going to stop? Now you're just bullying everyone. Li Ruyan snaps at our MC, but Ye Huayan plays the peacemaker. It is his seat, so it makes sense he refused. I just wanted to sit closer, making Lu Ruyan stare. Her harsh attitude suddenly softens. Fine, if you won't swap, don't be rude.
Shen Xinhui nods in agreement. Sure, let's use actions instead of words.
He looks straight at him and boom, he slaps him. He takes his stuff back, leaving a thoroughly slapped Ye Huaiyan in shock. No shot he expected our MC to fold him like that.
Liu Ruyan is stunned and steps forward.
But Li Xia steps up, blocking her with a cold stare. These two are locking horns, and it is so obvious. Li Xia's massive aura completely dominates him, especially after what happened last time. Since Li Lintian brought her out to represent him in public, her name in high society has absolutely skyrocketed, even though she is just an illegitimate daughter. But Li Lintian highly values her, and this week's massive banquet is specifically for elite heirs, completely locking in Li Xia's status. It also gives her a solid footing at Shengde Academy, where every student is filthy rich. These kids are shrewd. They only hang out with you if you have real status. If you are from some nobody family, you do not even deserve to speak to them. Meanwhile, Li Ruyan's wild behavior during this time has already infuriated the Li family, so causing any more trouble right now would completely ruin her, forcing Li Ruyan to grit her teeth and swallow her anger. When the class sees that absolute savage slap delivered without a second thought, they instantly realize Xinhui is still the undisputed king here. Ye Huaiyan can't match his family power at all. Xinhui sits down, looks right at Jiang Yuan and his crowd, telling him not to bother coming tomorrow. Jiang Yuan instantly panics, dropping straight to his knees to try and grab Xinhui's hand. He begs that it is not like that, insisting he has always been on Xinhui's side. Right then, Yu Qichen walks in and catches the scene, looking completely unfazed by the drama. Honestly, it is not hard to guess what happened while Xinhui was away from school. Some people checked out the new transfer student's massive family background, thinking he was built different. They actually thought Ye Huaiyan could dethrone Xinhui and take over the school's top spot. Plenty of traitors went over to suck up to him, but this one slap put them right back in their place. At this point, against absolute, overwhelming power playing the victim, to gain sympathy is completely useless, so Xinhui just sits back down as class starts. During the lecture, he props his chin up, staring at the textbook with pure annoyance on his face. You can tell he is totally done with studying, and by lunchtime, he heads out to the cafeteria. But the moment he steps outside, Chen Yuan blocks his path, asking to have a quick chat. Xinhui just laughs. Since when did every random nobody get the right to talk to him? Chen Yuan warns him that Ye Huaiyan is already holding a massive grudge over that slap. He adds that he hates the guy too, suggesting they team up to deal with him. Looking at Chen Yuan's dead serious face, Xinhui finds this whole proposal completely hilarious. Chen Yuan presses on, asking how he can tolerate Ye Huaiyan hitting on Li Xia behind his back. Seeing the sheer mockery in Xinhui's eyes, Chen Yuan snaps and tries to push back. He asks if grades are his entire life or if he literally cannot think about anything else.
Xinhui tells him to go get his head checked before stupidity starts rubbing off on others.
Honestly, there is not a single woman alive right now who is worth him getting jealous over. He casually asks if he is not allowed to enjoy a cute kitten that only gets slapped when she acts up. As for that illegitimate daughter of the Li family, she is not even worthy of his attention. Right after those cold words leave his mouth, he notices Chen Yuan glancing over his shoulder. Xinhui raises an eyebrow and turns around, only to see someone standing nearby. It is Li Xia, who clearly heard every single word of that brutal insult, making Chen Yuan smirk. He mocks Xinhui, asking if he is afraid now that she has heard his true feelings.
Chen Yuan then turns his gaze directly to Li Xia with a smug look on his face.
His eyes are practically screaming for her to look at the guy's real, ruthless nature. But honestly, Xinhui does not care about any of this drama. Shen Xinhui just nods and heads straight for the cafeteria. Meanwhile, Li Xia struts over, giving Chen Yuan the absolute death stare. Chen Yuan watches Shen Xinhui walk away, turning to Li Xia to tell her that she doesn't care. He says she is just using her and that she needs to open her eyes. But Li Xia literally replies that being used by her is an honor, leaving Chen Yuan completely shocked. He watches Li Xia walk away, and you can see the pure jealousy burning in his eyes. He is left seething, wondering what makes Shen Xinhui so special, while over in the cafeteria, our girl is just picking at her food.
She tosses her chopsticks down, slides the tray over to Li Xia, and tells her she can have the leftovers.
Talk about savage. Shen Xinhui then gets up to grab some bread instead. The campus is pretty empty at this hour, so she decides to take a shortcut past the single dorm building. But right as she passes under it, boom, a whole bucket of water gets dumped right on her head. Bro, she is instantly furious and looks straight up to find the culprit. And of course, it's Ye Huayan, staring down with the most punchable, smug grin. His nice guy act from this morning is completely gone, and his lackey Yang Yuan is right there holding the bucket. Zhang Yuan didn't even have time to hide the evidence before getting caught, and he's too scared to even make eye contact. With a stone-cold expression, Shen Xinhui marches right into the dorm building. She tears off her wet uniform jacket as other students heading back from lunch watch in shock. Seeing her completely drenched and radiating pure anger as she storms inside. She slams her jacket onto the floor so hard that the school badge literally snaps off. It bounces half a meter high while she just walks over to press the elevator button. Seriously, her aura is so terrifyingly cold that everyone nearby instantly tenses up.
A couple of brave students steal a glance and rush to pick up her jacket and badge for her.
Naturally, they follow her to see what happens next, and then the elevator doors slide open. The people inside take one look at her soaked, furious state and immediately shut their mouths. At this point, nobody else even dares to step foot inside with her. Her eyes are practically red with rage as she looks at the two students holding her things. She just raises an eyebrow at them, giving them the signal. They have no choice but to swallow their fear and step in, and she presses the button for the floor. As soon as the doors open, she's the first one to step out. Honestly, I thought you'd have to hunt them down, but these fools are actually waiting right outside.
Ye Huayan is standing there looking incredibly confident, convinced she wouldn't dare touch him.
He thinks his family's power protects him, but she just walks right up and boots him in the chest. Before he can even process the kick, she grabs his hair and drags him toward the wall. She tells him he's dead meat, and even though he tries to fight back, our girl is built different. She grips his head and slams it full force into the concrete. That's insane! She knocks him out cold in one hit. The crowd of onlookers instantly gasps and covers their mouths. They don't even dare to scream, only whispering in absolute terror. She lets go, watching him slide down to the floor like a sack of bricks. His forehead is bleeding, and honestly, both of them look completely wrecked. She gives him one more kick just to be sure, and he's lying there like a dead fish. She literally proved that messing with her at Shengde is a death wish. With Ye Huayan taken care of, she turns her icy, merciless glare onto Zhang Yuan. She flashes a terrifying little smile, asking classmate Zhang Yuan if he agrees. Her voice is whisper soft, sounding like a literal demon. Naturally, word of this beatdown spreads like wildfire, and Ye Huayan's mother rushes straight to the school. Honestly, Yu Chen was feeling pretty exhausted at school. Like, can we please just get some quiet? Both the Ye and the Guan families are major heavyweights here, which is why the school leadership had to step in. Yu Chen called her up, asking her to come over to the school lounge right away.
In the lounge, Mrs. Yi sits elegantly on the sofa, completely expressionless.
With assistants and bodyguards right behind her. I mean, Ye Huayan just transferred to Shengde Academy. With this already happening, there is no way the Ye family lets it slide. Our main girl finally walks in with her arms crossed, her bodyguard 007 following right behind. She sizes up Mrs. Ye from head to toe, not showing a single hint of fear. That natural highborn pride and crazy pressure, honestly, this girl is just built different. She walks over, sits right across from the woman, and literally kicks the coffee table. Then she leans back on the sofa, staring coldly at the bodyguard standing opposite her. He reaches out to steady the table, ready to strike back. But 007 slams right into him and knocks him down. The tension in the room is insane. The principal of Shengde looks at them, sweating bullets because her last massive scandal was barely resolved. Another nightmare drops, and he pleads with them to just talk things out. He begs them to keep their tempers in check as Mrs. Ye glares at our girl with venom.
She screams that her son is still unconscious in the hospital and demands to know who will take responsibility.
The principal carefully points out that Ye Huayan was actually the one who ordered the water splashing.
He explains seriously, but she snaps back in a heartbeat that her son is just a child. She tells him not to scare him with that tone, demanding to know if they have proof.
Principal Zhou, my son is an absolute angel compared to some other delinquents around here.
You should know who the real bully is, she says, casting a sharp glare at our girl.
Her eyes are filled with pure mockery, and she arrogantly mentions that her husband is too busy with work to come today.
But I believe you know exactly how to handle this, she says with a smug smile.
It sounds polite, but it is a total threat. Our girl just lets out a dry laugh.
Without wasting a single second, our girl stands up, grabs the cup of hot tea, and splashes it right in her face.
She hurls the teacup right after it, and then literally flips the entire heavy wooden table over.
The principal is absolutely stunned. Talk about a plot twist. She just chose pure violence.
Is this how your family behaves? Truly, the apple does not fall far from the tree.
The principal mumbles in total shock while quickly scrambling away to find a safe spot.
Our girl lunges forward and delivers two incredibly loud, stinging slaps straight to Mrs. Yi's face.
She yells that if she dares to insult her, she will send her straight to the hospital next.
The bodyguards try to move, but 007 is even faster the moment our girl strikes. 007 easily pins him down in a second. Yuchi Chen is just standing there, utterly speechless. He turns around only to see that the principal has already escaped to a safe corner, waving frantically for him to join. And just like that, the quiet of the lounge is completely drowned out by the woman's sudden ear-piercing shrieks.
Seeing that our girl has had enough fun, Principal Tao finally decides to step in slowly.
He pretends to hold her back, calling her his little ancestor and pleading for her to stop.
If you keep beating her up, your dad is going to worry sick.
She violently shakes off the principal's hand from her wrist, giving him an extremely cold and threatening glare. Principal Zhou instantly takes a step back, terrified she might actually throw hands with him next. She warns the woman that if she keeps talking, she will literally rip her mouth apart. A cheap mistress who climbed her way up has absolutely zero right to act so arrogant here. Does she think that is something to be proud of? The woman who looked like royalty just now has hair like a total bird's nest, with massive red handprints swelling up on her face. Her makeup is completely smeared, and she is sporting a nasty bruise on her forehead from that flying teacup. Talk about an instant downfall. That elegant, high-class lady vibe she walked in with, completely vanished. Right now, with her hair all messed up, she looks like a vengeful ghost straight out of a horror movie.
But our main character is actually pretty nice because she literally sent him to the same hospital where Ye Huaiyan is recovering. She even says if his dad shows up, she'll fold him too without hesitation.
I mean, a family has to stick together, right? Meanwhile, back in the office, Yuchi Chen is completely dumbfounded, standing there with his mouth open and unable to say a single word. He literally freezes for 5 whole minutes before finally telling her to just go back to class.
She just stands up, giving him a cold side-eye glare.
Muttering psychopath under her breath, she walks right out. But then Li Ruyan suddenly pops out and grabs her, dragging her to the side.
She is like, "Can you stop being so jealous? My family just asked me to look after him."
We are completely innocent. But our girl just violently shakes off her hand. She stares at her like she is a monster, wondering if she actually believed all that garbage gossip. Did she really think our main character fought because she was jealous over that guy? Absolutely delusional. Not her business. She just glares at her with pure disgust. She runs away like she just saw trash, totally terrified of getting caught up in her drama again.
Back in the classroom, zero hesitation.
She immediately packs up her things and moves to an empty desk just to avoid Li Ruyan completely. Seriously, dealing with delusional classmates is the absolute worst.
She would have just given up the seat to Ye Huaiyan and saved herself all this ridiculous trouble.
But guess who is sitting next to her new spot? Another special admission student, and he looks totally startled. He panics, raising his dark gaze to look at her.
They lock eyes for a brief second before she just drags her desk right into the corner. She just buries her face on the desk to rest. But then Li Ruyan walks back in. Seeing the empty desk, she follows everyone's gazes straight to our main character's new corner. Across the room, Li Xia stands watching with a dark look. Meanwhile, Chen Zi just sits in his seat looking totally clueless. He has no idea what this crazy girl is up to, while everyone else's eyes dart between them. Pure gossip energy. Did Li Xia make her mad? Well, before anyone can figure it out, the bell rings. Yu Chi-chen steps into the classroom and catches this entire chaotic scene red-handed. After school, Li Xia starts following our girl around like a silent little shadow.
She keeps quiet until she finally asks, "Why did you even change seats?" She says she needs to avoid Li Ruyan because that girl is clearly suffering from delusions.
Like she literally thinks our main character has a crush on her. The delusion is real.
Not her drama, not her problem, but she completely misses what is happening behind her. Li Xia is staring at her back with this super deep, thoughtful look. Did she really stop sitting with her classmate just because of Chen Zi's words? Sensing a sudden chill, our girl turns around and locks eyes with Li Xia's creepy stare. No joke, she literally looks like she is plotting how to make a body disappear. She asks if she is planning an assassination, which instantly snaps Li Xia back to reality.
She quickly shakes her head, but our girl blurted out, "Do you want to kill Chen Zai?"
It was just a joke, and she definitely did not expect an actual answer. But she quietly whispers, "Can I?" Our girl can only laugh and tell her to live stream it. She jokingly says if he puts on a good show, she might just reward him with a kiss. Smiling at him, she notices his eyes flickering with real emotion. But honestly, she completely misses the fact that this guy isn't playing around. She ignores him, but he nods seriously behind her back. And get this, that exact night, Li Xie actually hits her up on a video call. His pretty face is literally splattered with blood on screen, making her jump straight out of bed. Ain't no way! He actually took care of Chen Zai and even adjusts the camera. In some dark abandoned steel mill, a guy is lying on the floor with a sack over his head. Completely motionless, Li Xia is about to step forward. But the moment she tells him to stop, he obediently backs off, totally expressionless.
Too dark. She cannot see anything clearly.
So she demands the address because she has to see this crazy scene in person. She pulls up to the warehouse shortly after, and he quietly follows her inside. But wait, plot twist, there is actually another body tossed right into the corner. He tells her they can do the kiss next time, since he also took care of Li Ruyan today. Seeing her confusion, Li Xia actually takes the initiative to explain himself for once. But looking closely at him, she only sees his eyes practically glowing. He has this pure excitement and anticipation, looking exactly like a loyal puppy waiting for his next command. He asks her directly, "They are both dead now, so what is next?" She basically scoffs and says he is way too boring compared to them since he never fights back. And his attitude is not toxic enough. Just like that, the light in his eyes completely dies out. He casts his eyes down, clearly hurt by how much she is looking down on him. On the ride back, she just gets into the car without even looking at him. While Li Xie stands there dazed, she asks him if he just cannot function without killing someone. She tells him to get in, and Li Xie takes one last look at the two bodies. His eyes are filled with pure regret, like a kid who didn't get to finish a game. So disappointing. They arrive, and Li Xie gets out. She notices the dried blood on his face and asks if the guards will even let him in. After scanning his incredibly dirty clothes, she literally drags him straight into the bathroom. Leaning against the door, she orders him to clean up, making him look extremely tense and uneasy. He stands there hesitating for a bit, totally unable to hide his internal panic. Seeing him totally exposed makes her chuckle under her breath. She glares at him, thinking he looks like a stray dog that just rolled in the mud. A total mess. Filth covered him from head to toe. She asks him what part of him isn't dirty and why he is acting so dramatic. It's just a shower. No need to look so devastated since she didn't ask him to die. She demands he strip and clean up, leaving absolutely zero room for negotiation. He moves in slow motion, but eventually drags his clothes off anyway. But as he turns to shower, she freezes. His entire back is completely covered in a terrifying web of old and new scars. You honestly can't even tell how or when he got these brutal wounds. I guess every classic villain really does have a tragic childhood and a broken past. Li Xia fits that mold perfectly, and she just ends up staring in silence. But he just stands there frozen stiff, completely catching her off guard. Like, what is his deal? Does this absolute beast of a villain not even know how to shower? Our main character hasn't even realized something's off with Li Xia, but suddenly, Warning Bell starts screaming in his head.
It's like the system is giving him a massive warning, freezing him in his tracks.
This has literally never happened before. At this point, he's absolutely sure Li Xia has gone off the rails. He steps forward and asks her what's wrong.
Did he accidentally step on one of her landmines? But then he looks straight into her eyes. Li Xia's eyes are completely bloodshot, and suddenly her hand shoots right up.
She's about to choke his neck, but our guy reacts fast and slaps her face, keeping it real.
He asks if she wants to die, trying to kill him just because she couldn't get Chen Zi.
That slap finally wakes her up, and he reaches over to shut off the shower. He asks if she's been peeped on before to have such a crazy reaction.
He brushes her choking hand away while looking down at his own clothes. His clothes are already completely soaked, but Li Xia just stares blankly as he starts walking out.
Her eyes follow him like glue, and then she rasps out that she'll let him watch.
He turns around to look, and honestly, she has an insane, well-built figure for her age. Plus, she's incredibly obedient. He's definitely going to have to test her limits later. Staring at her desperate, pleading face, he watches as Li Xia nods with absolute seriousness. It's like she's agreeing to some life-or-death contract. He tells her next time he's not in the mood. He leaves her with that and walks out, while a servant quickly brings clean clothes to the door. They leave them respectfully and quietly retreat. Our guy steps out of the room. He chills on the second-floor sofa, taking a slow sip of the juice the maid brought him. Outside, a gentle rain starts to fall. Looking at the wet streets under the city lights actually hits different. Quite the vibe. He orders his staff to investigate number 4 high school. The servant bows deeply and slips away without making a single sound. It doesn't take long before Li Xia finally steps out of her room. She's wearing comfortable, loose loungewear. He catches her reflection in the window glass, watching her.
Both of them are matching, and honestly, it low-key gives off some surprisingly cozy family vibes.
He turns around and asks if she's hungry, keeping a close eye on her expression.
She hesitantly nods. Now, it's just the two of them sitting at this massive dining table.
The servants stay out of their way, leaving them to eat in peace. Our guy rests his chin on his hand, studying Li Xia. Feeling his gaze, she freezes up. Her movements instantly slow down, completely cautious, as if she is walking on eggshells.
She's terrified of making him mad. Why is she trying so hard to please him? He told her he's her savior, so she has to obey him.
But is she really going to do whatever he says? Li Xia nods instantly. Agreeing with everything he says, he points out how toxic and villainous he is. If he ordered her to kill someone to pay him back, would she? She softly replies that he's not bad.
She says they deserved it. Man, Li Xia's moral compass is completely twisted to the core.
It's just as broken as her life. He asks if she'd be willing to die for him. When he asks this, he expects her to at least hesitate for a second. But the second the words leave his mouth, she just nods. She literally whispers that she would, repeating the words twice with absolute chilling certainty. Then she asks why he's being so good to her. This is the first time Li Xia has actually spoken a full, coherent sentence instead of just stuttering. He can't help but chuckle. Man, what kind of heartbreaking life has this poor girl survived? He didn't even realize he was being kind to her, but the moment he laughs... But Xia's eyes are getting dead serious. He looks like he's ready to rip his heart out. Anyway, after dinner, our MC is casually stretching on the carpet, asking what gift the puppy wants. He looks down with that dominant gaze, casually pinching Xia's earlobe. His warm hand gently brushes against his cheek, stroking Xia's hair back. He kisses his forehead. Suddenly, a harsh static noise blasts as the system screams a sharp warning. Talk about a mood killer. But that sudden kiss has Xia frozen. He looks up, locking eyes as the MC's voice whispers in his ear, "Remember this."
Slaps are punishment. Kisses are rewards.
Xia's brows furrow, instinctively sensing there is a much deeper meaning here. The MC just laughs it off, pulling his hand away. Honestly, having such a loyal, easily fooled puppy by his side isn't a bad idea at all. The next day at school, Xia watches the MC walk in.
He quietly clenches his hands before slipping to his seat. Now, about last night.
Royan's crew got dumped at a steel mill. Once the drugs wear off and they wake up, they think they've been kidnapped. But there is absolutely nobody there. Unfortunately, they find absolutely zero clues, and with Huaiyan out of the picture, her and Chen Zi start getting all cozy and ambiguous again, but this time around, things are different. Ruyan keeps her eyes glued to our MC, constantly trying to explain herself. She's terrified he'll delete Chen Zai if he gets annoyed. Friday, Huaiyan finally returns.
He sees the MC and smugly snorts.
The guy probably thinks his dad pulled some major strings to force a surrender. Arrogant as ever, Huan grabs his things and tries to sit right next to Xia, but Xia immediately moves to Yan Yi.
Yan Yi asks him curiously if he had a falling out with the rich heir. Xia just shakes his head.
But his burning gaze is locked onto our MC sleeping on his desk. Yan Yi just sighs.
Since Jiang Yuan is basically kicked out now, sitting together works perfectly.
Just let me copy your homework later. But the moment class ends, Chen Zai rushes over demanding his assignment. Our MC is way too tired for this, barely opening his eyes. So he casually tosses the notebook onto the desk of the scholarship kid. Telling him to write, the kid is terrified. And immediately starts writing. Chen Zai opens his mouth to complain, but ends up swallowing his words. The MC just gives him a cold glare. Then he casually tosses a card on the desk. There is literally 500,000 on it. Just finish it and hand it in. He walks out without looking back. Right after Yuchi Chen's class ends, he heads straight to the art room, swiping his keycard with a beep. Locks the door. Barely slept last night. This is the perfect spot for a nap. Only one corner is actually used for painting, completely messy with splattered colors. But the other side is a complete, clean contrast, a pristine and quiet lounge area. This is his private sanctuary, and nobody gets in without his say-so. Shen Xinhui is just vibing in his private room, which his dad literally got the school to custom build for him. He is enjoying some much-needed peace, but over in the classroom, things are still incredibly chaotic without him. The class is buzzing, and since everyone is still waiting for Shen Xinhui to apologize, things are tense. Ye Huan is getting super impatient, and honestly, his face is completely sour right now. He mutters to himself, wondering why his dad has not called Shen Xinghui's parents in yet. With a disdainful snort, Ye Huaiyan cooks up another devious plan. He suddenly starts laughing, giving Chen Zi a quick side-eye. Standing up, he walks straight into teacher Yuchi Chen's office with a request. His main goal is to swap seats and sit right next to Li Ruyan. Yuchi Chen is busy grading papers, but he looks up to see who is interrupting him. He calmly says he never forces seating arrangements.
If Ye Huaiyan wants a swap, he needs to talk to Chen Zai and see if he agrees.
Ye Huaiyan scoffs. I am notifying you, not asking for your permission. Yu Qichen puts down his pen and crosses his arms, stating that he is a teacher. He has to treat everyone equally because that is basic respect.
Yu Qichen even asks if Ye Huaiyan is trying to ruin his relationship with the other students.
Ye Huaiyan sneers at the teacher's self-righteous act and tells him to drop it. He claims to know the teacher's background, mentioning he spent 3 years at the 4th high school. In his mind, the teacher should know how the rules work, and this swap is barely a real request. But the teacher fires back. This is Shengde Academy, not his old school. Things are different here.
Yu Qichen just smiles, keeping his tone perfectly polite.
Ye Huaiyan completely loses it, demanding to know why Shen Xinhui gets special treatment. He slams the desk and stands up, accusing the teacher of looking down on him. His eyes are wide with rage, and his voice goes up an octave. Yu Qichen takes a deep breath, somehow keeping his calm smile intact. He explains that Shen Xinhui never bothers him with petty stuff like this. Shen Xinhui handles things on his own, even if his methods are a bit extreme. Like, yeah, he might instantly call in the parents, which is honestly kind of hilarious. But he only goes after the real troublemakers and leaves innocent people alone. No one can pin anything on him, but Ye Huaiyan is ready to play dirty. He drops a straight-up threat. You are just a low-level teacher, so watch your back. The spoiled kid threatens to have him fired by tomorrow, but Yu Qichen is completely unfazed. The teacher literally just calls Chen Zai in to let them handle it face-to-face. Ye Huaiyan immediately acts like a big shot, telling Chen Zai to pack up and get lost. Chen Zai immediately fires back, asking if he thinks his family's money makes him special.
Staring Chen Zai down, Ye Huaiyan just laughs like a typical arrogant villain and tells him, yes, exactly.
He brags that he and Li Ruyan are childhood sweethearts who grew up together.
Asking Chen Zhe who he thinks he is to sit next to her, he is totally out of line.
To be honest, Ye Huayan's plan is super simple. He just wants to get closer to Li Ruyan.
He wants to annoy Li Xia and use their drama to make himself look good. It is a total clout-chasing move, which is why we have this ridiculous seating drama. Honestly, the author cooked here, but Ye Huayan did not expect our main character to ruin his plans. Shen Xinhui completely ruins his plan, and now Li Ruyan is barely paying attention to him. So he drops the act completely and demands to sit next to her. But here is the ultimate twist. When they first picked seats, she chose to sit next to Shen Xinhui. Chen Zhe sneers without even looking at Shen Xinhui, mockingly throwing shade. Like, your grades are literally trash, yet you actually think you can tutor him? If you are so brave, go ask him yourself and see if he even wants to sit with you. This straight up triggers Ye Huayan, hitting his sore spot and making his face turn completely red. For example, Yanji treats him like a little brother while Yuchi Quan just sits back and watches. He is thinking this is way more entertaining than back at 4th High. In that place, nobody wastes time bickering over a girl. They throw hands the second they disagree. Everyone fights to the absolute death there, and they do not stop until someone dies. It left him completely exhausted, constantly on edge, trying to make sure no one actually died. Watching Ye Huayan slam the door and storm out, Yuchi Chen just shakes his head. The Ye family's young master is seriously weak. He can't even beat Shen Xinhui in a fight. When it comes to arguing, Chen Zhe folds him instantly, so he only relies on cheap, petty tricks. Looks like he didn't inherit his mom's manipulation skills. And get ready, because here comes the drama. He comes crying back to the classroom and faceplants straight onto his desk. Li Ruyan notices immediately, walking over to ask him what is wrong. Did Shen Xinhui bully you again? And just as those words leave her mouth, our girl Shen Xinhui, who is fast asleep in the art room, suddenly lets out a massive sneeze. Ye Huan looks up with teary eyes, sobbing silently, while Li Ruyan's eyebrows furrow. Didn't I make things clear? He literally only treats me like a younger brother. But I want to be with you, and Shen Xinhui is always bullying me. Chen Zi just mocked me too. I bet he and Shen Xinhui are in cahoots. I tried talking to him, and he completely ignored me, looking so pitiful and pathetic. Honestly, his victim act is crazy, and it works as Li Ruyan lowers her gaze. She gently reassures him that it is not like that, but he just cries even harder. You are still taking his side. Teacher Yuchi Chen heard everything. Go ask him yourself. He instantly throws Yuchi Chen under the bus, and yeah, Li Ruyan actually starts wavering. Caught right in the middle of Ye Huayan and Chen Zhe, she cannot make up her mind. She looks completely stressed out, which is exactly the scene Chen Zhe walks in on. His fists instantly clench as he glares at them. Oh, man, the tension is actually crazy right now. He storms off in a total rage while our girl Shen Xinhui finally shows up later. She hangs out with the crowd outdoors, with 2 teachers leading the whole group. The second Li Xia spots Shen Xinhui, her gaze is literally glued to her. Why are you staring at Shen Xinhui like that every day? Yan Yi asks, following her gaze.
He shakes his head. That girl does not have guys on her mind, so 0 shot.
But right now, Li Xia is completely clueless about romance, totally lost in her own world. Just overthinking everything on her own, making Yan Yi look at her with absolute disbelief. Like, she is usually a smart girl, but why does love turn her brain to absolute mush? She is literally just using you. Right now, you are basically just her pet. The only difference is pets do not have to go to school with her, Yan Yi notes. Honestly, I wonder if this guy has been reading too many revenge web novels online. He is dropping facts left and right, but she asks why she only uses me and not you. Li Xia does not buy a single word of it, even trying to correct his logic. Keep playing around, sooner or later you are going to get ruined by Shen Xinhui. Yan Yi is just completely speechless, and as Shen Xinhui gets closer, she suddenly hears a scream. Looking over, it turns out Chen Zhe is just bossing people around to move props. But with one careless move, someone bumps right into Ye Huayan. That guy claimed he wanted to help, but was just goofing off. He instantly crashes into the props and gets hurt, making Li Ruyan comfort him. She immediately hoists him onto her back and rushes to the clinic.
Chengde is left behind, staring at them, clenching his fists in pure rage.
He looks absolutely furious and immediately starts chasing after them.
This drama is so messy that even a passing dog would shake its head.
As a professional gossip lover, our girl Shen Xinhui hesitates for just 1 second.
Before following them to see exactly how Chenzi is going to strike back, she makes up her mind and instantly starts sprinting. She beats them to the clinic, and the old doctor looks up in shock.
Asking Shen Xinhui what is bothering her this time.
She just drags a chair to his desk, telling the old man to move. Because she is taking over the spot and the doctor knows she is a tyrant. He grumbles about her bad manners, but still ends up giving up his seat.
She sits right down, crosses her legs, and folds her arms.
The computer screen hides her perfectly while giving her a clear view of the bed. The poor old doctor just sighs helplessly and stands off to the side. Right on cue, Li Ruyan bursts inside, looking panicked while carrying Ye Huaiyan, prompting the doctor to rush over.
He helps the boy onto the bed and asks what happened.
Honestly, there are only like 3 drops of blood on his leg from a tiny scratch.
The cut is so small, it is literally almost healed already.
She is watching this drama with pure joy as the doctor grabs some medicine. But then, Ye Huaiyan suddenly grabs Li Ruyan by the waist.
He starts squirming like a drama queen, refusing to let them apply it.
He cries like a baby, and Li Ruyan warns the doctor to be gentle. She frowns at the doctor while gently stroking Ye Huaiyan's hair to comfort him. Our girl is getting secondhand embarrassment watching this, practically biting her fingers. And right on cue, Chengde kicks the door open. His face immediately drops when he sees them, while Ye Huaiyan spots him. A smug look flashes in the boy's eyes, and he clings even closer. He shoots him a smug look, making Chengde seethe with anger. But Chengde plays it cool, forcing a smile for Li Ruyan.
He says he is sorry and blames himself for getting him hurt.
He offers to hold him, making Li Ruyan look up at him. Only now does she realize how close she is to Ye Huaiyan. It is definitely way too intimate. She tells him to let go.
Let Chengde hold you, she says, while I apply the medicine.
Hearing this, Ye Huaiyan instantly throws a massive tantrum.
No way, he whines, claiming Chengde always bullies him.
Huiyan starts acting up on the spot, crying that he refuses.
At this point, Chengde instantly activates his inner drama king.
His eyes turn red, instantly welling up as he apologizes.
He begs for forgiveness, crying that he had absolutely no idea.
Honestly, this dramatic scene is giving me major goosebumps. It is so wild.
So basically, Li Ruyan falls for the innocent act. Our MC needs to slap him more.
To avoid his toxic attention, our MC feels completely uneasy and anxious. She just wants to patch up this stupid wound so they can keep the show going. Li Ruyan finally tells Huaiyan to stop messing around, his voice dropping several degrees. His focus is clearly drifting over to Chengde, who immediately steps in to support Ye Huaiyan. Sparks fly the moment their eyes meet, while Li Ruyan stands right beside them. He is gently applying medicine to Ye Huaiyan, but right at that exact second, the completely clueless Li Xia suddenly barges in and instantly locks eyes with our MC sitting in the corner. He looks so incredibly desperate that you would think the sky was falling down. Following Li Xia's frantic gaze, the others finally notice our MC sitting in the dark corner.
Their faces instantly turn livid, and Li Ruyan suddenly stands up to stare at her.
He opens his mouth to explain, but our MC just kicks her chair back loudly.
She storms out without looking back, but right at the doorway.
She slams hard right into Li Xia, sending him stumbling backward by several steps. Li Xia stumbles right after her, and right before her hand can strike his face. He instinctively squeezes his eyes shut, but the expected painful blow never actually hits him. Just as he opens his eyes, that suspended slap finally lands on him anyway. He reflexively turns his face away, lowering his eyes to admit his mistake. After glancing at our MC, he tries to step closer, but suddenly flees in sheer panic. He actually thought something terrible happened to her the moment he heard she was in the clinic. Terrified that she was hurt, he rushed inside without a single second thought. Who would have guessed our MC was actually just chillin' and comfortably enjoying the drama inside? Seeing her there, he probably already planned where to kneel and beg for forgiveness. How dare he flinch and close his eyes, she thinks, glaring at his pathetic face.
Sensing her obvious anger, Li Xia actually leans his face even closer to her.
His intention is completely obvious, but our MC is not about to coddle him.
Since he is offering his cheek, she has absolutely no reason to hold back another slap. She warns him to transfer classes immediately if he ever pulls this stunt again. Li Xia bites his lip and obediently nods his head, showing off that totally pure and innocent face. But then he acts so incredibly submissive. Honestly, this contrast is actually pretty wild. Too bad our girl is completely heartless, as Li Xia looks up with teary eyes. His long eyelashes cast soft shadows under his eyes, and although his face remains completely blank, anyone can easily see how incredibly hurt and miserable he feels right now.
She just scoffs and tells him to beat it if he cannot handle it.
Honestly, his reaction is so utterly ridiculous that it actually cracks our girl up.
If he was not so handsome, it would have been way worse than just 2 slaps.
Begging her not to force him to transfer, Li Xia's eyes are filled with absolute pure panic. His desperate attempt to please her is so obvious, clutching his clothes in complete anxiety. Yet he cannot squeeze out a single word as our MC glares at him. She genuinely does not understand why he is having such a massive meltdown right now. He struggles to find the right words, but not a single sound comes out of him, losing her patience completely when he just stands there, totally frozen. She snaps, asking if he is a mute, making him shake his head frantically. But the more anxious he gets, the more tongue-tied he becomes as tears stream down. Li Xia looks completely helpless and embarrassed, while Shen Xin just stands there, quietly staring her down. She doesn't budge. Finally, Li Xia stammers. Seeing her squeeze out each word is low-key heartbreaking. This poor girl is struggling so hard. Shen Xin already knows what she's trying to say. She doesn't want to transfer. And she definitely doesn't want to disappear from her sight. Hearing this melts her anger completely. Honestly, Shen Xin has the absolute most patience for her. This girl's entire world revolves around her, which is exactly the kind of loyalty Shen Xin needs. Stuttering or not, she doesn't mind. She just wants someone who will unconditionally stand by her side, and once Shen Xin softens her stance, the crushing pressure holding Li Xia together finally snaps, letting all her built-up emotions flood out. She relaxes. Shen Xin forgives her. Shen Xin secretly sighs in relief too, worried about pushing her too far. If she kept pressuring her, Li Xia probably wouldn't be able to speak at all. But once that drama settles, Li Xia's gaze becomes sharper than ever, basically a human radar. One look and she's locked in. She's completely devoted. Now, cut to Friday, the final class before the weekend. Once Yu Qicheng finishes this lecture, it's officially weekend time. Everyone is buzzing. Homework gets handed back. Suddenly, his eyes land right on Shen Xin, calling her out in front of everyone. He asks why she handed in 2 copies while Shen Xin is just spacing out. Startled, she snaps out of it. The teacher points to the scholarship student. He tells her to come up and grab her notebook. Yep, it's hers. Homework is done, but the teacher has news. Yu Qicheng scans the room with one more announcement. Tomorrow, Li Xia is hosting a major party in Sector 2 and wants to invite the whole class. He hopes everyone can make it, passing along the message from Li Lintian. Job done, the teacher leaves. And boom! The entire classroom absolutely erupts. Nobody here is an idiot. An illegitimate daughter throwing a massive party?
Everyone knows exactly what is going on. Suddenly, Li Ruyan kicks her desk and stands up.
The whispering dies down instantly. She is finally showing that clever side of her before she got messed up with Chen Zhe. She sneers that an illegitimate child throwing a banquet is a rare sight. She tells everyone not to ruin the fun, dropping that savage sarcasm. With a cold face, she storms out. Since Li Ruyan is the actual legitimate heir, her words hold weight. At this point, the other students are seriously debating if they should show up. Shen Xing grabs her bag, turning around to impatiently yell at her. Stop spacing out. Let's go home. Li Xia quickly hides her emotions, instantly looking up and walking over.
She grabs Shen Xin's bag and they walk out side by side.
Yan Yi scrambles in the back, begging them to wait. He complains that he isn't even packed yet.
He snatches his bag and runs. Once they leave, the classroom turns into absolute chaos again.
The gossip is off the charts. Now, fast forward to Saturday night in Sector 2. Servants are running around, busily setting up the venue for the big banquet.
Li Shiya sits there crying silently, her deep eyes staring blankly as she gets lost in thought.
A servant bows down deeply, respectfully calling out her name.
Everything is fully prepared, and they ask if she has any other orders. All the servants in this estate are actually pretty terrified of Shen Xinhui. He always keeps a cold, icy expression and barely ever speaks. On top of that, he never lets anyone step foot into his private space, even though he has never actually punished anyone here. But they have all personally seen him return home completely drenched in blood before. He looked like a demon crawling straight out of hell, which honestly made their skin crawl.
Tonight, besides all of their invited classmates, the guest list is pretty high profile. The rest of the guests are all wealthy young heirs and heiresses from their elite social circle. Yan Yi quickly looks around the room, leans in close to Xia, and asks where Shen Xinhui is.
He asks if the guy's gonna stand her up, but Shia completely ignores him.
She just stands there, completely motionless, looking down at the lobby where the butler is busy directing the servants to host the guests.
Everyone is dressed to the nines, making her wonder if Xinhui is actually gonna skip this. Honestly, the drama is already starting.
Meanwhile, people in the crowd are whispering about how Xia has not even shown her face yet.
Others shrug it off, saying the two are probably off somewhere together, so why even worry? But someone quickly shuts that down, saying that rumor is way too outdated for Shengde Academy. Who doesn't already know that Shia is basically a desperate lapdog? Always chasing right after Xinhui like a lost puppy, but right at that exact moment, things shift. A sharp, clear voice suddenly cuts right through all the gossiping chatter.